Hey transportation community, this is Luis Lopez again here, the Freight Guru, on another episode. And today we have a special guest, a local resident of Miami-Dade County and a company that's been growing during the pandemic. We have Michael Naw from City Furniture. Michael, good morning. How you doing?
Hey Luis, thanks for having me.
Michael, so if you could give me a quick intro on how long you've been with City Furniture. You're currently now Vice President of Merchandising. And if you can give me a little bit overview of what part of Miami-Dade County you live in, and just a little bio on yourself.
Yeah, thanks. We're actually located in Broward. We're here in Tamarack, about west of Fort Lauderdale. That's our corporate headquarters. That's where I'm coming in from now. I've been with the company for about 8 years. Started as a planning assistant straight out of college. Been working our way through. The company's seen tremendous growth. And really excited to talk to you today about the company's journey through the pandemic, and and talk a little bit about our opportunities at City.
Awesome, Michael. Yeah, so the first thing we want to talk to our audience about is about a word that maybe you don't know about if you're in the transportation world, and that's what we call a BCO. And a BCO is if you're not aware, is a beneficial cargo owner. Okay, and for those of you that aren't aware of what that is, it refers to an importer that controls their cargo from the point of the entry port. Okay, and what's interesting about City Furniture compared to a lot of importers is that they actually do in-house their supply chain. So they'll go out to a steamship line like Maersk or CMA and procure contracted rates on those vessels from wherever they're manufacturing and buying product. And Michael, can you tell me a little bit about that? Why you guys decided to do that, bring it in-house instead of outsourcing, going to a traditional freight forwarder or a 3PL to do that?
Yeah, so for us, it's about building those long-term relationships. That's really what our whole supply chain is predicated on, whether it's with suppliers or with carriers and even trucking companies like your company. You're a valued partner. We see that as our best opportunity over the long term to have strategic relationships and work with those folks directly. It's core competencies that we like to bring in-house. So we like to have our logistics experts on site here as part of the City Furniture family and develop those folks that way.
That makes total sense. So when I look at a BCO and a company like yourself that has scaled and has actually flourished through the pandemic, I'm looking at a company that can control on-time logistics, can build relationships with their manufacturers and control their supply chain. And I also look at a company that's dynamic and able to pivot. So, I mean, it sounds like to me that your supply chain infrastructure is the core of your business, because without that, there's no way you get your product on time into your retail stores. Is that correct?
Absolutely. And we're delivering about 95% of our products that we sell gets delivered directly from our warehouse into the customer's home. So 5% is what we would call a take from the showroom. So in times like right now, where everyone knows about the global supply chain issues that COVID has caused, and particularly in the homes furnishings industry, where demand has risen faster than supply could possibly catch up. Those dates and working with the carriers directly to understand on when our product will be docking into the Port of Miami. We're one of the largest importers into the Port of Miami, and making sure that everything is timely and that we can fulfill our promises is critical for us.
Absolutely. And I'm going to pivot now and discuss about your website, because I mean, when I've been living in Miami-Dade County now, 18 years, and I drive by City Furniture off of 195. I live on Miami Beach, and I drive by the one right in Midtown, and it's right off of 195, all glass, beautiful. You can see the furniture from the I-95, or excuse me, the 195 entryway. And what's impressive about City is that 5 years ago, you were focused solely on retail experience. Customer wants to touch the product. It's a furniture that they're going to watch, a million football games on. They want to sit down on it. And then you kind of take advantage of COVID and you've like destroyed your previous website and it made it super easy and robust to, to purchase online. Was that something that you guys were thinking about doing pre-COVID, or did you just speed that up and do it like while the pandemic was growing?
It's a long journey to get to where the website is now, where our social media is now. When I started with the company 8 years ago, we had 3 folks working on the website, and now we have over 30 folks on the website. We were all in before COVID, to be very clear, on making the website.
That makes sense.
There'd
be no way to do it. The website's great, and and that's what I want to talk about when you look at the website. And we're going to break down City in a minute about like the journey of City. But when I looked at the website, I said, well, it's super easy to create an account. Website is over 10,000 items, tracking online. You got a wish list. You can do financing. You have a contact person you could do online designs with and set that up. And then when I really look at it, and as a millennial, buying on Restoration Hardware, going to your store or going on your online, I'm looking at it and I feel like the only con that I can find is, well, I can no longer touch the material. But besides that, I'd much rather shop online at my convenience and then avoid the lines and the parking and everything that comes with the retail experience. Now, as the pandemic ends and there's more vaccines and we start moving into the opening, do you see your company as a whole being 50-50 retail and e-com, or are you all in on e-com and saying, you know what, we no longer want to create more stores? Is there, or you're not sure yet? What direction, if you can answer that now, what direction do you feel like the market's going?
Yeah, so we see the website as the new front door for our business. So everyone who walks into our showroom now is pre-shopping us. The percentage of sales on the web is growing, but our retail is still super critical to us. What we've started to drop in our new showrooms, and we have one in Doral, and in the Orlando area, we're about to open one in Altamont. We opened one in Millennia last year, is what we call our Generation 3 showroom, which is basically we're focusing on getting our shopping experience to a whole new level. So we have cafe and wine bar in the stores, not open just yet, but we'll be open soon. And once we get through COVID and we get more vaccines out there, we have a home accents store within our store, which is critical for us. Just in talking a little bit about our website and how we got to this level, it's really been a focus on content, a focus on product, and we built a photo studio in-house where we're getting all of our quality shots for Instagram and other social media platforms. So that's been critical for what we've done. We've made a major investments in product information. So like you mentioned, it's a leap of faith for the customer to buy something sight unseen. But when you can give the correct product information, the customer feels more inclined to do so. But frankly, for us, our big business, our strategy is they pre-shop us online, and then they come into the store and they get that unbelievable in-store experience. And then we create customers for life.
Yeah, it makes total sense. And that hybrid model, I think, is going to be very successful for you in the long run. And the other thing I really liked about the website is the ability to do the final mile tracking. So the customer really has a pulse on where they were at. You're not buying a product online and then you're having to call a phone number to figure out where the shipment is, if it's pending to be picked, or if it's already on the staging area ready to be loaded in a truck. You kind of do that with Dispatch Track, which I'm aware of. That's a TMS platform that is great for your type of business. And the fact that you've already integrated that and you're giving the customer the complete transparency start to finish, from when they put their credit card and pay all the way through the design and then on the final mile. So that makes total sense, and I think that's like the icing on the cake that makes this experience great. And going now back to our other topics, we've talked before, and we've had multiple conversations about how do you scale, how do you become more efficient, how do you get rid of redundancies. I'm of the opinion is that you're only as good as the people you bring on board and the culture you build. And I know that when we've discussed things like, well, how do you find the best talent and how do you build that culture? It's all about the hiring process. And I want to give our users today the ability to understand from upper management in a company like yourself, City Furniture, that is looking for talent in the Miami area. So if you're in the freight forwarding business, if you're in the trucking business, if you are in a 3PL brokerage firm in Miami-Dade, Broward, West Palm Beach, and I'm sure all the way up through the state because you guys have offices everywhere, what would be the goal to be able to get on board at City and grow within the City family?
Yeah, you hit on the most important thing, and what we think about first is the person going to fit the culture that we've fought really hard to build here at City over the years. It's the number one thing for us. You get the right person in, and you can teach the skills. But I would say, I'm just thinking about our last couple hires in the logistics department and one of them was directly out of college. And then the other one was a veteran coming from a freight forwarding company that had been in the industry for 20 years. So we see the entire spectrum, and we really focus on, can we find the right person? We get that right person. We get them in our environment where we have, really good standards in place. We're building on our technology and reporting. But someone who is going to work in that continuous improvement environment. So someone who's willing to come in, learn our standards, learn our culture, but then is willing to give suggestions and give, different opinions on ways of doing things. I mean, we're constantly trying to evolve as a company. So we're looking for that type of candidate to come in.
Makes total sense. And I want to give our viewers what I think are the 5 top critical things to do when you're jumping into interviews. I think the first thing that you need to do is research the company that you're going to work for. I think it's important to make eye contact with the person that you're sitting with. Review the job description. Make sure it's a job description that meets what your criteria that you're looking for. I also think to check out other companies on LinkedIn to look at the comparisons of who's City's competitor, what they're doing. Try to stand out that way, and then prepare yourself with questions to rebuttal when you're in the interview. And I think those are top 5 things to do in order to get through an interview, because I don't think necessarily, because you have an MBA or a 4-year degree, you're guaranteed to be the best candidate in the room with maybe 3 or 4 other candidates that might have 6, 7, 8, 9 years of freight forwarding experience, right? They're in the trenches. They're in there every day. They understand how to cut bill of ladings. They know how to procure rates. They know how to contact steamship lines. Where the guy out of college, he might be really book smart and understand Excel really well and how to create documents, but he might not have that real world experience. So if you're on whatever spectrum you're on, it's super important to do these 5 things so that when you come out of that interview, you got your best foot forward. And Michael, right now, are you guys hiring right now? Is there a specific role that you're looking for?
Yeah, there's 2 I want to highlight. So we have a logistics coordinator role open right now, kind of in the realm of what you were just alluding to.
Okay. Where on LinkedIn can our users find that?
If anyone's can DM me on LinkedIn for sure. If you go to the City Furniture page, you can see our open requisitions, and also on cityfurniture.com under the careers section, those applications are there and available to fill out.
So they can DM you on LinkedIn. So yep. We'll provide your contact details on your LinkedIn so people can reach you, and then obviously go on City. So that's amazing. Michael, the only thing I want to finish on now is on the current volumes and how you guys have kind of grown through the pandemic, which I know for a fact March, April of last year, I don't think anybody could have ever envisioned home economy growth and the growth of e-commerce online for things that traditionally were retail. Pre-COVID, traditional retail for furniture occurred. People tended to go to stores, and you're talking about a lot of cubic feet, not very easy to transport. So it made total sense that furniture would be more retail, but it's completely pivoted. You guys pivoted beautifully. Your website's great. So if you can give me a rundown, and I understand that you're facing major challenges with imports because of it's either containers not being available because of the shortage of steel, or because of the Suez Canal that just occurred. I mean, it's one thing after the other. If it's not rates hiking and no capacity, it's Suez Canal, and if it's not that, there's no containers to load your freight. So looking at this chart here, can you just give me just a quick 30,000 feet view of what we're looking at here? And basically, if you can provide me just a quick overview of how the volumes have grown significantly in the past year.
Yeah, so this is a chart. You're looking at our inbound inventory coming in. This is all looking at imports. So you can see that's a 2-year view. And you can see our new normal, which is on the right side of the curve, which is about 30-40% higher than where we were pre-COVID. It's funny you talk about, it's a year ago, now that we were really in lockdown. And I remember conversations with you on the phone where we would chat 15 minutes, and there was a lot of, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. But through our key business partners, we stayed on alert during the shutdown. We leaned in. I'm really happy. We talked about the website earlier because we leaned into our website. We leaned into an appointment strategy. We built out a chat team on the website that's best in class. So if you're buying online for us and you look at our chat, it's the best, probably the best way to buy. I think in the industry as far as chat online. We'd love to see you in our stores, obviously. So here's what I would say about this. There was 3 weeks last year around this time where everyone was staying home and no one was consumer spending. And then shortly thereafter, once we realized, okay, we're all going to be home for a while, and obviously a lot of folks were realizing, hey, I need to refresh my home. And we started to see it because of that investment in the website and because of our entrepreneurial spirit. We started to see it coming back sooner. And what we did is we shut down the supply chain when we had to, because we had to slow down incoming inventory. And then you can see we turned it on faster than most other folks because we saw those signs of, hey, the stay-at-home economy is real. People wanting to redo their homes is real. The South Florida real estate market coming on and improving and being really hot in Central Florida and the West Coast of Florida and South Florida. All Florida started to heat up from a real estate perspective. So that was kind of what we did. We leaned into the website, but we also have the best in class sales teams at our stores as well, and sales culture. So those folks were selling furniture via Zoom with folks who are sitting at their houses, and they were Zooming throughout the showroom and showing folks product. We just had a complete dedication to see that the business was coming back, and that gave us the ability to turn on the supply chain, turn on our imports quicker. I am happy that you brought me on after the Evergreen vessel, the Ever Given, was freed up, because we did have we were a little bit worried about the Suez Canal this past week, and it's been a little bit stressful. We don't bring a ton of product through the Suez, but the repercussions as far as repositioning of equipment and empty containers getting to Asia is a little bit stressful, not going to lie. But we got a little bit of Murphy's Law going on right now. Everything that can go wrong will go wrong, and we're working our way through it, and we're doing it. We have a great team. Everyone's really focused on how to improve every day, and we're all in.
Well, Michael, thanks so much for your time. I mean, you guys have built an incredible business on the retail side and now on the e-commerce side. It looks like you guys have the right culture going. You have a couple positions online available that we want to feature on this podcast today, and we'll provide the link to our users so they can get access to that. Hopefully you get some DMs, because I think it's a great company and there's a lot of growth there. So I want to thank you for your time today. We will talk soon. This is the Freight Guru here signing out. Thanks, guys. We'll talk soon.